guys, it's time to put my tomatoes in. And we had more or less 100% germination from the saved seed from last year. So there's all my varieties, 7, 8 in total. The only two that are not here, the only variety that is not here is the Sweet Million, because I thought that they were a basket tomato, and obviously they're not. Somebody in the comments pointed that out as well, thank you. So I don't want Sweet Million in the tunnel, because a lot of the little plum cherry tomatoes I've got in here are going to be way better than Sweet Million, taste and productivity wise. So I'm going to start putting a couple of these in, you know, and it shows you that these plants have been in this module from when they were about 1.5 to 2 inch high seedlings, so they're about that tall when I put them in, just a couple of little inches there, and they've grown all this beautiful growth. As you can see, they're not really stretching at all. They're struggling for light, possibly the ones in the center, so they're stretching a bit because they're getting crowded out. So I'm just going to put a few of these center ones in, and they've been in these little module trays here since they were 1 inch tall, and there's not much compost in them, as you can see, but it's the quality of the compost that matters and not the size of the module, I think, or the pot that they're growing in. Because if you look at the root on these, if I can just get one out, they're not got excessive root in them, so they're not spiraling up around the bottom. They're really beautiful little root system, that. So get some of these in the ground today anyway. The polytunnel is pretty stuffed at the minute with just all the plants. I've got a load of strawberries in. I was hoping this weather would just stay nice for a few more weeks, but as you can possibly hear, we're back to rainy, miserable, horrible, damp, wet conditions again. So my tunnel stuff is just going to have to stay in a bit longer, and we're just going to have to carry on juggling. I'm going to put a couple of roamers in. Let me think, just let me have a think. Okay, the rosellas. I'm going to put a couple of rosellas at the back, and again, out of these 4 seedlings I grew, I'm choosing the 2 strongest looking ones there. I'm going to put the rosellas at the back because I had them here at the back 2 years ago, and they did exceedingly well at the back here. This end is going to have the most shade. The sun is shining in this direction, so they're going to be slightly shaded out and dark in this corner from the wood. There's no light at all comes in from the back of the tunnel, hence why there's mirrors there to bounce a bit of light back into the tunnel from the back. So the rosellas did well is what I'm saying here, so I'm going to put 2 more in again. So I'm going to put one there, and one there. So there we go guys, just drop the string in the bottom at thole. In goes the rosella, bit of soil around her, put the string nearest the stem, and that is the first tomato in of 2025. Marvellous. I'm not going to get them all in obviously because I just haven't got enough room, but 2, 4, 6, I should maybe nearly get 8 in, definitely 6. So I'm going to leave a gap to about there, and I'll put the next one in. I wanted to make some more compost extract to put in when I planted these, but yeah, I ain't doing it today guys because it is horrible out there, pouring down. Anyway, as soon as it dries up, I will make some more and put it in. It'll be right. Put a string at the bottom. Just put a bit of a bend in it like that when you put it in. The soil again in here is so dry on the surface, but there's plenty of moisture down there below. So Rosella, let's have a couple of these big roamers in, because they're right in the centre of the tray and they're struggling in the middle. They're competing for the light. Nice little plants then. As I say, just leave the strings on the floor in case I have to, you know, give these any frost protection. I will tie them up when the plants, I don't need to tie the strings up till the plants get up here somewhere. And the one thing I'm going to do with these plants this year, like I did last year when I started, I am going to neglect them. I really am going to neglect these plants now. They are having no attention, they are having no water, no feed, absolutely nothing bar the compost extract, which I suppose is, yeah, I suppose I'm wrong, it is a kind of feed, but it's more to get some microbes in this soil for these tomatoes. So it's a microbe feed, I'd rather call it, than a fertiliser feed, because we're not going to get too many nutrients from a couple of handfuls of compost in you know, 30-40 gallons of water. So let's take another two here. So we've got the Romas out. Well, we'll carry on the theme of sauce tomatoes and we'll put two San Mazzanos in. Just trying to see which are the best, which have got the thickest stems, and it's them two. I'm not planting them over deep, you know, maybe to about there, but as you know, probably know, all these little hairs growing on the side of this tomato are potentially roots. So if you bury them a little bit, you can actually see little root buds there growing up the side of that stem. Yeah, if you plant them a little bit deeper, they'll just put a little bit of more root here out the stem, and potentially you'll get a little bit of a stronger plant with more roots. Right, if I want to put two more in, I'm going to have to move this cold frame now that the peppers and cucumbers and things are in. I don't feel it's prudent to remove the cold frame just yet out of the tunnel, because you just don't know what this weather's going to do until we get into May, well into May. Right, the reason I'm going to just not do anything to these, like I say, apart from give them a little bit of a drink of the compost extract, is because I found last year that these tomatoes, they got away amazingly well. They really did grow, and it surprised me that they grew better than the plants that I watered at the other end. They were just growing better, and the reason is, if you're not providing them with water and nutrients, they're putting out more roots and partnering with the fungi and the bacteria in the soil. So they're giving them the nutrients they want. I'm also not going to do any side shooting until the plants get about a good 2 foot tall, 2'6" tall. I'm going to leave all the side shoots on so they can get maximum photosynthesis going on and pumping out plenty of exudates into the soil to attract the microbes. So yeah, that's what I did last year, and it just worked so well, guys, and I'm going to do it every year now when I plant tomatoes, exactly the same thing. Right, let's see if I can find a bit of room for this cold frame, juggle things about. Well, there we go, I've managed to get another 4 in, which is good. What were them? Which ones were San Mazzano? I think they were San Mazzano. Yeah, I'm gonna, right, just let me write them down, guys. Look at these guys. There'll be no more wondering where the labels are this year. Right, so who is next? My little beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely adore them teardrop tomatoes. I want to get these beautiful little things started. Oh, absolutely gorgeous tomatoes, teardrop. People, I have sent a few of these teardrop seeds out. I put a shout saying if anybody wanted any, I'd send them some. I thought I had more than I had, so I would have liked to have sent a few more out. I will save a lot more this year, guys. So you can give me a shout out later on. And I'll send you some of these beautiful teardrop seeds. Who's next? Who's my next favourite? It's gotta be the honeycomb. So teardrop and honeycomb, and then the rest of them can just wait. And I'm basing this best plant theory on the thickness of the stems. So the plants that have just got slightly thicker stems to the brothers and sisters, they're the ones that are going in. So those strings just get tied up to a string. There's two parallel strings in the roof of the tunnel, and these are directly linked to them, so they get tied up later on. I would say probably my best snacking tomato. I can eat these all day in the summer. Come in here, just eat literally handfuls of them. They are beautiful. Yes, my beautiful honeycomb, beautiful, sweet, tasty. They've got a beautiful taste to them, literally similar to honey. And people don't like them, and I've said this in a previous video, and I think you only get out your tomatoes what you put into your soil. Teaming with microbes, partnering with the microbes. These honeycomb tomatoes are beautiful. You're probably going to get a completely different taste with these tomatoes if you're growing them in tubs or pots or these chemical filled water tanks or whatever else you're using. You're just not going to get the taste out of them. I'm sorry, you're not. And that's the way it is. It's nature. Nature gives the best results. Right, spare labels can grow there. And I suppose the beauty of, you know, only wanting to grow two in every station and growing actually 4 plants is that if the worst should happen and we get a massive frost that wipes all these out, or is potentially coming to wipe these out, I can take these home and they can live in the conservatory till that danger's gone, and if I come back and all these are dead, and then I will just simply replant them. And it's as easy as that, guys. Some of these are going in. If I've got a bit of room, I'll put some more of these in. I'm putting some of these in outside as well. If the melons start dying off for fun, like they usually do, then I'll just replace them with tomatoes this year. As soon as I see the first melons that start going wonky on me, they're coming out, and I'm putting a tomato plant in. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in. Another 10 to go. But when you look where they're going to go, I think you agree that we're just, at the minute, I'm a bit short on space to put them, because this side of the tunnel is full. And this is the side that the melons are going on, so we're absolutely stuffed full here with everything. Just really can't get anything else in on this side either. The shelves are absolutely, the temporary shelves or the floating shelves, they're absolutely stuffed with plants as well. So, to say, as soon as this weather warms up, I'm hoping it'll do that in the next week or two, and I can at least get all these strawberry plants outside that are in the pot, so I'll probably take them home. Actually, it'll be warmer home than here. And taking down that little coal frame I used to have at the front of the old shed is really, you know, God, just realising how much I miss that space now, because all the peppers and a lot of the strawberry plants, and I could have actually cleared this side by just putting everything into that coal frame, and a lot of the stuff on this side as well. Anywho, we'll get by, we will do it. If I get the onions out this week, which I will, then all the peppers and strawberries can go in this corner, and then I can get at least another 10 tomatoes in, and that'll bring me up to about here on the bench. I can leave the bench in. I actually plant the tomatoes under the bench, and then just as they're getting up towards the bench, I remove the benches, tie the strings up and wrap them round, and away they'll go. But it looks like at them spacings, which they're all right, they're about 18, 20 inches, maybe a bit more. Not got my tape, let's have a good guesstimate. No, they're about 2 foot apart, 2 foot in every direction. That'll be fine, because I don't let my tomatoes leaf up too much. You know, as soon as they make the second truss, I'm stripping leaves to the first truss. That's how I've always grown them. They always do great. That's Tomato Fest, guys. Has anybody got theirs in yet? I'm sure a lot of you who live further south than me have. Not really seen many people putting them in yet, but I'm sure some of you have. And there's probably no doubt one of you already got fruits on and flowers. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you quite soon in the next one. I've got a ton of footage. I'm going to edit down into just random little videos just to clear the backlog before we start in earnest with everything else. Here we go, guys. Classic wireworm. There it is, just burrowing into the lettuce. Goes right into the stem, as you can see. So once your lettuce or your young plants start to flop down like that one obviously is, your plant's already dead, so you may as well pull it out and capture the wireworm that has caused the damage. There it is. So once it's hollowed out the stem of that particular lettuce, it will move on to the next lettuce and do exactly the same. They are an absolute nightmare if you're growing young plants. 17th of April, my bucket potatoes, Swift. We have a little peek in there, they are just coming ready. Oh, it's so nice having the first early potatoes, isn't it? First potatoes of the year. Lovely. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.